what is the best shutter speed for waterfall photography. Is it this, or this, or this? Well, this video tutorial is all about showing you which shutter speed to use when you're after a certain type of photo. It could be nice dreamy photo or freeze frame showing the power. So let's get going, and I'm going to show you how you can choose the best shutter speed for the photo that you want, for the feel, the mood that you want. I'm at Greens Falls in Mount Glorious, and it is powering. So here we are at the base of Greens Falls. So if you live in southeast Queensland, we've been getting heavy rains for nearly 2 weeks. Waterfalls around here are powering, but look at what's in front of us here. Beautiful. Today I'm going to show you what is the best shutter speed for waterfall photography. Now let me get something straight right off the bat. There is no best shutter speed. It is up to you, it is up to me as to what we want in our photos. Do you want beautiful slow-mo like this? Do you like freeze frame like this? Or something in between? Well, today I'm going to show you how to achieve that, because everybody takes photos differently. And this is what I tell people that come along to my workshops. Photography is an individual hobby. Somebody might tell you, well, the best shutter speed is 6 seconds. The best shutter speed is 10 seconds. The best shutter speed is 2 seconds. There's a lot of factors in how to get the best shutter speed. One, the most important, light. Look at this. The sun's already up. It's 7:30 in the morning, middle of May. If I came here in summertime at 7:30, the sun would be way up to get the same smoothness in the waterfall. I would most likely have to double my shutter speed time or put a 10-stop ND filter on to get the same effect. If you're here just before sunrise, the light is very soft. You can get dreamy photos without any ND filter at all. Come along at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. You're going to need a 10-stop filter. You're going to need a very high aperture like f16 just to get what you want. Remember, light is the number one. 2 is how much water is flowing. To get that dreamy look in water that's just flowing, like not today, a few months ago, I think in November I was here just to do a scouting trip, and I did a panoramic on the waterfall. Take a look at this. This is a single exposure. This would be very easy to slow down to get that dream look. There's not much water. Today, the water is powering. I'm going to need a different shutter speed to get the same effect. Let's get going. My gear, as always, my Nikon D500. I'm using my Takina 11-20 at 20 mils. I could have easily used my Nikon 18-140mm lens. My idea was to be much closer to the falls, but can you hear the roar in the falls? And also there is so much spray. This is as close as I could get. So don't think that if you don't have a wide angle lens, you can't shoot waterfalls. Get that out of the way now. It's ideal if you can get up close. When the waterfalls are powering, you can't be that close. You've got so much spray, so you have to back out. So even a kit lens, let's say the Nikon 18-55, you're going to get beautiful photos with your lens. Gear is not the most important part, it's technique. Nikon D500, Takina 11-20 at 20 mil, and I'm using a polarizing filter. This is, for me, the number one filter to use for any photography that involves water. You cut out the glare. I've shown that in previous videos. You cut out the glare. You can also see I don't have any slot filters in front of my lens here. Why? There's so much spray. I've got a screw-on polarizer. I also have in my pocket a 10-stop ND filter, and we're going to put that on a little bit later when the sun is a bit brighter to get that dreamy look, like that smooth look. But I want to show you that at this time of the day, you can get all types of photos just with a polarizer. Now remember, the beauty of a polarizer is it cuts out light as well. you can lose anywhere from between half to 2/3 of a stop of light, depending on your polarizer. So it's a default ND filter. Now, I'm shooting here in portrait orientation. I just have to, because this is the only way I can really get the calls. If I was further down, you can see the water's flowing behind me here. If I was down there and I just wanted just the rushing water, I could shoot in landscape orientation. But around 70% of waterfall photography is done portrait orientation. So what am I setting? Well, let's say that I want the near natural look. I'm going to reduce my aperture. Let's come down to f4. I like using the LCD viewfinder at the back, and if I press the OK button on my Nikon D500, I get a live view of what it is. The sun is shining right at the base of the falls now. Very easy to blow my highlights here. But what do? Do I expose for the highlights, or do I expose for the rest of the image? So I'm going to try to do a 50-50 split. 1/100th of a second. You can see, not hard to get like moving water. If you want to show the power of a waterfall and you want that freeze frame look, don't come very early in the morning. You're really going to struggle. Come around 10, 11 o'clock, the light is beating down, you're going to have your freeze frame photo. The light is going to be harsher, but you're going to get what you want. Let's start slowing it down a little bit. Look at the difference. 1/100th of a second, 1/4 of a second. You see how easy it is? And can you see how, now you can see how easy it is just by adjusting your shutter speed. Now this is 1/4 of a second. We haven't even put an ND filter on. And we're at f8. Let's go to f11. Now we're at half a second. Look at that. Smooth. Can you see what I'm trying to show you? Is that, yes, watch videos, but remember that everybody has a different way of taking photos. They might tell you 4 seconds, they might tell you 1 second, but look carefully at the light that they're at. And also think about the time of the day they are. Let's say they're in England, winter time, there's not much light around, it could be very overcast. They could be there at 9 or 10 o'clock during the day, and they could easily get a 3 or 4 second exposure. Try to do this here in summer. You're never going to get there unless you're using a 10-stop filter. Remember that, because the shutter speed is governed by the amount of light that you have and also what you want. I like it 50-50. Sometimes I take dreamy photos. If a waterfall is really powering, when we were at Queensberry Falls last year with a mate of mine, the waterfall was powering. I used the zoom lens and I focused just on the water flowing down, and you can see just the water just frozen in time. It has a lot of impact. If I took that same photo at, let's say, 1 second, it would just be smooth water. There would be no impact to your photo. Remember, your photo has to have some impact, and it has to have what you want in it, what you want in the feel of it. This looks good. Now, let's go up to f16. Most of the time, if you've got a kit lens, I wouldn't recommend going higher than f11. If you go higher than f11, you're going to get chromatic aberration on the side of the image. It's going to be a bit soft, but if you don't have any filters, then go for it. Beautiful. 1 second at f16. Sometimes if you listen to people, they'll tell you 4 seconds. You go like 4 seconds. Sheesh, I need a 10-stop filter. It's going to be huge. You can double this very easily. I'm at ISO 100. All I have to do here is come down to ISO 50 and I'm doubling my exposure to 2 seconds. Let's put the 10-stop filter on and I will show you how baby smooth you can get with a long exposure. I put the 10-stop filter on, closed my viewfinder. If you're doing exposures, I say longer than about 10-15 seconds, definitely close off your viewfinder. You're going to let light in, long exposures could be a problem. But this is 30 seconds, f4.5, ISO 250. with a 10-stop filter on. To me, this is too slow. To you, you might say, Charles, you're on a winner here. This is what I wanted. This is what I'm showing you, that it's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to Joe Blow, whoever likes that shutter speed. If you like that shutter speed, great. Most of the time, I like it halfway. This is 30 seconds. Look at our previous exposure here. 2 seconds. You see the difference? To me, there's not that much difference. The 2-second exposure, you can just see there's a little bit of movement on the water here. I've taken enough photos here. I want to show you when we're up close and personal, very close to water, the shutter speeds can change dramatically. I'm going to shut the camera off and just reset up just down here. So this is where we're going to shoot. I'm going to set up just on the ledge here to the left, and we're going to shoot just this water coming here, and you're going to see the difference that it makes when we're very close. So when I stopped, I mentioned and I showed that I was just going to go down a little bit, take some photos in landscape orientation of a different area. Mother Nature had other ideas. Within a couple of minutes, it became very overcast. We started having drizzle. I just had to shut it down. I quickly took a set of photos so I could show you what I was talking about, but this is why I'm in a different location here. I'm further up into the rainforest, and it's a beautiful area. But take a look at this photo from this very location here. Unreal. Let's take a look at these photos that I took. The first one here, 1/400th of a second. Look at that. It's raw. I don't know if you like it, but to me, it's just not smooth enough. Now, 100th of a second. Look at the difference. 400th of a second, 100th of a second. Now, 1/10th of a second. Now we're starting to slow it down a bit. The last one here, 1 second. Can you see that? Depending on what you want, and that's the whole point of this tutorial. Best shutter speed for waterfall photography. It's not what I want, it's what you want. What you like to photograph. You might say, well, Charles, I like this 1 second exposure. Well, Charles, I want more than 1 second. I want 10 seconds. Well, because it was raining, I couldn't do anything about it. I had to stop at 1 second. Started raining, so after 1 second, I shut it down. But you can see where this is going. At 1 second, very slow mode. And for me, this is as far as I would go. We can see the streaks here in front where the water's going. 1/10th of a second, oh, that's 50-50. 400th of a second, I would display this to show people saying, okay, I went to Greens Falls, this is how much water was flowing around the falls. You could show this and say, like, look at the power here, look how much water's flowing through. Then I would adjust my shutter speed to 1 second and say, this is what I got. Ripper. So you can see the best shutter speed is not 4 seconds. It's not 30 seconds. It's not 1 second. The best shutter speed for waterfall photography is the shutter speed that makes the photo that you want. If you're at the waterfall and you go, okay, 4 seconds, that's what I want. Well, 4 seconds is the best shutter speed. If you put a 10-stop filter on and you get to 1 minute and you go, that's what I want. Well, that is the best shutter speed for you. Somebody else might look at it and go like, no, that's not the best shutter speed. Well, in their mind, it's not the best shutter speed, but in you, it is the best. And my photography tutorials are all about helping you improve and to become an individual photographer. And that's important. If this video has been of value to you, give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Really helps me out. Stay safe, enjoy photography, choose the best shutter speed for your waterfall photography, and I'll see you next time.